most of the content or all of the content is so kindly prepared by Smart Freight Center. Just for all of your information, this session is recorded. Smart Freight Center will also use their own the recording of their own presentation for internal materials. In case you mention something somewhere and you don't like it to be in the recording, just let us know, or let Pablo know. He can take it out if necessary. Keep maybe your microphones muted when and your cameras off while we're speaking, so we can focus on the content when speaking. If you would have a question, the most ideal place to put them would be in the GoToChat, or if we open up the floor to questions. But the preferred scenario is that we call on you to maybe raise your question. So Catherine and I, we can moderate a bit the Q&A of this session. So, but foremost, enjoy the session of today and learn as much as you can, and drop all your questions in the chat function. So you can go to the next slide, Pablo. So this is a bit of how the agenda looks today. Fernando is not here to do the introduction, so I do the honors of introducing the webinar. I'll try a bit to put it into perspective on how we, what's the importance of greenhouse gas emission accounting. It's in our roadmaps. It's in the scope of thematic group 1. So I'll try to put it a bit in the framework, and at the end of my introduction, maybe now, Alan and Anne, you could very quickly share the points, your background, and maybe what you will present in the course of the webinar. So maybe Alan.
Yeah, so I'm Alan Lewis, Technical Director at Smart Freight Center, responsible for developing the greenhouse gas accounting and reporting methodology frameworks like GLEC and ISO, and that's what I will be talking about during the next half hour or so.
Perfect.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anna Dallin, and I'm the new assurance manager at Smart Freight Center. And I've taken on Alan's work, and specifically the ISO standards, and helped build a conformity assessment scheme at SFC. So that's what I will be talking to you about, our new conformity assessment scheme. Thanks.
And maybe Catherine, you could quickly introduce yourself as well.
Yeah, hello everyone. Catherine Chola, also from Smart Freight Center. I'm the program manager for GLEC. I'm also here to support Anna and Alan, and also if you have questions later on, I'm the main contact for any of your questions around our GLEC program. So if you'd like to reach out, we're going to share also our contacts later on in the closing of the meeting.
Okay, thank you, and Alan and Catherine. You may go for the next slide, Pablo. So we share with you this webinar under the umbrella of thematic group 1, and under thematic group 1, a couple of years ago we released the zero emissions roadmap, and we want to reach zero emission by 2050. Some of us a bit sooner, or some of it a bit later, but that's the overall objective. And in the roadmap we clearly stated that the first point, or potentially the first point for you to take action upon, is to know where your emissions are sitting within your value chain. And the report part is an important part in order to start reducing, collaborating with others to reduce your CO2 emission. So that's why we, with this webinar, we want to give you the state of play of reporting in the industry. What are the current standards? What are maybe good guidelines for you to work on reporting? And for myself, the Smart Freight Center has always released very down-to-earth guidelines to help companies that are maybe not the perfect engineers or the best researchers in reporting, but very down-to-earth papers and documents to help us on an easy way calculating our emissions, and from that taking that as a starting point to make an action plan in order to reduce your emissions. And I do think it's still the prerogative of Smart Freight Center to start with calculating and then in the end reducing and get to zero. So that's why we're happy to host such a webinar for our members under this umbrella. So you'll see on the next slide as well that Tarsis from the Smart Freight Center is an integral is a part of the thematic group 1, um, keeping us updated about the footprint and the measurements reporting. So I think he is not here today as this is not his specific field of expertise. He's representing Smart Freight Center within the working group, but he suggested this to take this topic on, and Catherine was so kind to organize the specifics within Smart Freight Center. So I think that was the last slide we prepared. So I'll give the floor to Alan and Anne. I'll come back at the end maybe very shortly, but enjoy the presentation. Drop your questions in the chat, and we'll moderate. We'll make sure that that Alan and Anne get the right questions at the right point in time. Enjoy.